What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Random Sunset. I'm your host, Stonecrest, Georgia. That's my new title. I'm Stonecrest himself. Nah, man, it's your host, Site Dolo. Man, y'all can call me Stonecrest, though. But look, today's show is men versus females versus men. Men versus women, women versus men. That's the name of today's show. And this show was inspired by the late great, rest in peace to Mr. Kevin Samuels. All right, he just had a birthday. He a Pisces, and just had a birthday. But anyway, it was inspired by him. So today, I just wanted to talk about men versus women, women versus men. Right now, I don't think we realize that it's a big war going on with men and women, especially here in the Western world. All right, it may just be going on in the Western world, meaning it's a civil war with men and women. Because a lot of what I hear from family members and friends is that there are no good men out here, and vice versa. The men saying there are no good women out here, and I'm like, that's something ain't right. And again, it's not to condemn anyone, and it's not to bash the women. All right, I personally know and believe that men need women and women need men. You can't have one without the other. Ultimate combination, man and woman. Now, I have to be honest, and I'm going to be straightforward and direct because, like I say, this show was inspired by the late great Kevin Samuels, and great minds think alike. And when I say great minds think alike, it's the more reason to know that I'm a traditional man, especially in this modern world we're living in. I would be considered a traditional man. And a lot of our beliefs are the same, meaning a lot of us real men come to know that a lot of women don't wish to be held accountable. All right? It's like holy water on a vampire. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. And for far too long, it's been that smack on the wrist. Just recently, it was a 31-year-old woman who just got impregnated by a 13-year-old out in Colorado. And I guess she had an agreement with with law enforcement to cooperate or tell what happened and to spill the beans, and she would get no jail time. And she get no jail time, but she's impregnated by a 13-year-old boy. Now, if the tables were turned and had that been a grown man that impregnated a young lady, a grown man at the age of 31 that impregnated a 13-year-old teenager, then it would be frowned upon. So here we are with the double standards. So anyway, again, a lot of the pushback and the combative masculine energy that come from women, I would say to many of you women that are listening, you need to check that. You need to check that. I mean, not listen to me to respond and to react. Oh, I hear you. Attack. Because a lot of women tend to do that. You say what you have to say, and they so quick to respond and to react that they don't quite comprehend to be able to change the situation or to rectify themselves, should I say. You know what I mean? And that can be a problem because if you listen to men, you would have the solution, you know what I mean, to be able to deal with the men, especially here in the Western world. So if a lot of men are saying women are masculine, what are some things you can do to change that? How can you harness your feminine energy and use it to your advantage instead of trying to beat us in our lane? Oh, they masculine? I'm going to go masculine and then I can defeat them. No. Men and women have roles, okay? A lot of times, you hear about these relationships and these women have these such high standards. Such high standards. I want a tall man. I want a dark-skinned man. And I'm talking about black women in particular when it comes to this. I want a tall, dark-skinned man, making 6 figures plus. I want him to be respectable. I want him to be great in bed. I want him to, buy me flowers, tell me nice things. And I want him to only be with me. Okay, I understand you want all of these things and you feel You deserve all of these things. Like, you really need to earn those things, but you feel you deserve those things. And the next question would be, what does that guy want? The guy you just described, what does he want? Where do you find him? Is it okay for him to make six figures and you make a little over 30,000? Because if that's the case, here we are, those double standards again. You know what I mean? Your value is set high. Now, what about the women that have children or a child? Went out, I was young, I went operating in an adult capacity. I made decisions early on that hindered me. Being that I made these decisions to have a child and not get married, is it fair to go for the high cost guy? I mean, because a lot of times women define these men in the Western world by their economic status. Okay, like this is how they pick their man. You know, okay, what he making, what he got, and like, and that's the reason to date a man a lot of times over here in the Western world. And so you have to ask yourself, meaning, again, is it okay for me to make my 30,000, 28,000, 40,000, 50,000, and go after this doggone guy that make 100? I mean, come on. If you making 100, would you date a guy or want to date a guy that's making 40 or 50? Majority of the times, women don't want to. Women are hypergamous. They date and marry up. I want the best, nothing but the best. I don't want to be able to work hard. I'm entitled. And these are a lot of the things that men are saying about you women. And truth be told, men are the prize nowadays if you was never told. Men are the prize. And what I mean by men are the prize, meaning women have outnumbered men since the beginning of time around the globe. Women have outnumbered men since the beginning of time. So even if a man were to marry and date, every man on this planet was to get him a girl, it's still going to be what they call over in Asia leftovers. It's going to be leftovers. So how are you guys the prize when there are not enough men to go around from the get-go? What that tells me is a lot of you women, especially in the black community, you're going to have to compete. If you have Asian women coming to take black men away, if you have the European women to come and take black men away, if you have the Latina women to come take the black men away, that minimizes your options. It minimizes your options. Okay? So what are some things you're doing to compete? Because you're going to have to compete. Oh, I just sit right here. I want this six-figure brother, tall brother, doggone good-looking brother, doggone with no children, that's only going to be monogamous to me and only be with me and not exercise his options. What am I going to do to compete for that type of guy? You have to ask yourself, these are real questions. And a lot of times I hear a lot of people say, oh, it's the tone, it's the tone. And that's mean, that's mean. A lot of women don't want to hear the truth. They're delusional. It shocks them to hear the truth because they've been lied to for so long. I'm talking about, people have been whispering sweet nothing in their ear for so long that when you tell the truth, oh my God, I ain't competing for no man. I ain't competing for no man. Then guess what? You get to live by yourself. Unless you want to date women. Unless you just want to live by yourself. Unless you just want to buy you a pet. And then, these are your options. You can be single. And keep in mind, to be single and to face this world alone, you got to pay 100% of your bills. Your car insurance, your car note, truck note, Jeep note. If you got multiple cars, you got to maintain them and pay for it. Your rent, your mortgage, the upkeep on your property. If you got a home with acres, you got to pay 100% of your own bills. And then you got to have retirement, savings, investments. I mean, if you invest, so these are conversations that we have to shed light on and bring attention to, because I'm not convinced out of all of the women that attend college, are enrolled in college and have these degrees, are y'all friends not telling y'all? Are your female friends not telling you, like, this is what has to happen? And then you guys find yourself singing the same song over and over again. This vicious cycle. Oh, I'm a single mom. I'm a mom of two. I'm a single mom. I got to do it all by myself. I got to do it all by myself. Forget man. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Only to find yourself calling your brothers, your nephews, your cousins, your fathers, your uncles, your neighbors. Hey, neighbor. Like, this is what women are doing. This is what they're doing. And believe it or not, they acting off of emotions. It doesn't make any logical sense that you would sit here and have to pay 100% of your bills alone for the rest of your life, just because you feel like I'm better than that average guy. What? According to, like I say, look at the statistics. Your average guy is what, between 40,000, 50,000? Don't want him. Looking over him. Now that same guy could have investments. That same guy could doggone have a healthy savings. All right? I just feel, I'm sorry, like I say, this was doggone, like I say, this was inspired by Kevin Samuels. I don't supposed to say I feel. So that happened for a reason, I think. Now for you women, that's, and emotional creatures, not to say that men don't have emotion, because we do. I don't want to come from that, I feel, you know what I mean? No, I think that these conversations should be had, and I think that women should really think about their options. All right? So if you don't want to pay 100% of your bills, find you a man, not a partner, a man. And not just that. What is a man's role? You want a man, you got to know something about a man. What is his role? Okay? And before I go any further, well, let me just go on and finish that up. When it comes to a man and his role, that's why I didn't want to use partner, because men have roles and women have roles. My mother-in-law, she tell me all the time, like when she was coming up, and she a baby boomer, not the silent generation, but when she was coming up, being that they were still traditional, she didn't get to date and choose her man. Boom. When the father gave her away, or when doggone, like, because that's how it used to be for all you modern women, or you new school young folks, you was given to that man, and that man, boom, was given that wife once he went and boom, 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 talked to the father, and that was the old school way of doing things. It wasn't about love and go on a date for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they was put together, and you learn and grow to love that person, because y'all had roles to play. And then you got to be mindful of the families. All right? Because when you doggone marry a woman, and that family become your family. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch who you make part of your family, because of the resources. All right? When it comes to family, emotional support and resources. That's the one thing a family could offer. You know what I mean? So therefore, when you're making these decisions, know why you're looking for a man, the type of man you're looking for, know what he like, and know what you bring to the table. This is all advice. You know what I mean? And again, I'm regurgitating a lot of this information that should have been taught already from a father. But if we have a lot of single mothers running the households, then a lot of the men that y'all despise and resent, the majority of the men that's in prison come from single mothers. Go behind me and do your research, all right? Look at the statistics. Look at doggone the majority of the men that are in prison come from single mothers. So to all you single mothers who want to keep that vicious cycle going, and you have sons that you say you like or love, be mindful of that, all right? It takes a village to raise a child, but you want that father in the household. to raise that son to be a man. So, like I say, when it comes to the guys, like I say, many of you men got to know your value. You have to know who you are, what you stand for, and you have to know your value. You have to. All right? Because at the end of the day, when you look at the structure, especially when it comes to these Christians, you have God, the man, the woman, and then the children. If you're a Christian, that's the structure. God, the man, the woman, the children. So the man is over the woman to be the leader. If you're not a great leader, I mean, it's not a reason for women. Well, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be mating. You shouldn't even have the opportunity to mate. But since women control sex in a relationship, they should know better not to give it to you. If you're not a great leader or provider, I should say. All right, and so men got some soul searching and a lot of work to do themselves. But that don't wipe away the fact that a lot of these women that's going out to have these babies with these guys, again, that don't exempt you from accountability. It do not exempt you from accountability. So, like I said, you guys control that, who come into the world and who don't. Even with abortions. Do I want to get rid of? Do I want to abort? Or do I want to doggone keep the child? You get to make those decisions with the type of power you have. I mean, I like to think that the women liberation movement sparked a lot of this, whether you know it or not. Like, this is how it's affecting us in our community. You know what I mean? So, again, I say to you Christian women who say you go to church and you love God, in your Bible, if that's your source of knowledge, it says the man is again made to be the leader. You have to find the right leader. So as you getting to know or your significant other, you should better know in a year's time, is this person going to be a great leader or this going to be a great person to mate with? You should get married before you just have the baby anyway. You know what I mean? According to your Bible, not fornicate. You should be married. This is according to your Bible. But like I said, it's a vicious cycle. And I don't know in y'all sisterhood what y'all are discussing, but y'all all singing the same song. And again, it's a vicious cycle, and the girls need to be taught. So again, to all of the men that are out there, make wise decisions, run your household. I mean, it's going to be hard to say that you king. It's going to be hard for you to say that, okay, I'm the president, of this, of the home or the head of the home when you don't know how to run it. When you don't know how to run your household. If you're not running your household, you know what I mean? So again, like I say, these are a lot of the issues we face, especially in the black community. We're taking a hit from it. And like I say, to you women, you got to compete. You can't be lazy. You're going to have to get up off your backside, find out what it is these guys like and want, and you got to get on track. Because like I say, what's the chances of you going to another race? What's the chances of you going to the white community being nice to their men? You're still going to have to compete. If you go to the Spanish community, you know what I mean? You're still going to have to compete. Because, they not really chasing down a lot of the black women to wipe them. All right? So when it comes to the black woman and the Asian man, these are the lowest, like they the least sought after. They at the bottom of the totem pole. The Asian man and the black woman. So, like I say, you got to get on board. If you don't wish to get on board, don't find yourself, oh man, my baby daddy ain't crap. My baby daddy ain't this. It ain't no sense of doggone talking bad about your baby father when you the one picking them. Oh, let me call my friend to borrow some money. Oh, let me call my cousin. Oh, let me borrow it from my dad. Listen, if you're going to live an independent life, are you still out here having a hot girl summer? Meaning do what I want to do, when I want to do, who I want to do, and you run this cock carousel, basically a merry-go-round of dicks, you know what I mean? You just out here just jumping on one as you go. Then be able to finance and sponsor your hot girl summer. All right, be able to finance and sponsor it. That's all. So like I say, these conversations have to be had. And again, I noticed that even when I'm on social media a lot, if you say anything about a woman's makeup, are those long lashes that they wear, who hurt you? Who hurt you? So we don't supposed to speak no truth. We don't supposed to say nothing about women. They supposed to be exempt, be able to do whatever they want to do, dog you out, give you an unfair deal. Like a lot of times it's an unfair deal. When they place their high value up here, knowing good well you're not even a virgin. So how can you demand all of these things from a guy unless you're trying to take advantage? That's manipulative. Very manipulative. I want you to work, make a lot of money, be handsome, tell me you love me, and spoon with me at night. Buy me this, buy me that. I only make a little money or don't work at all. And then I only want you to stay with me and not exercise your options. And then when you ask the question, what do I get out of the deal? They can't answer it. And then some would be immature and say, oh, I just lay on my back. Because it's a lot of immature women out here. You can't even have a conversation with them without them raising their voice and not want to hear it. Because too many of them are in denial. And if you know anything about the 5 stages of grieving, you got denial, you have anger, you have bargaining, depression, and then you have acceptance. So I get it. If you're not used to hearing anything real or straightforward and direct, you're going to be shocked at first. But guess what? It's no easy way to doggone tell a person who done lost their child in the streets or lost their child at war, when you get that knock at your door, hey, John Doe won't be making it back. It's no easy way to tell that type of truth. And I use that as an example because when you're telling the truth a lot of time and people get offended, it's because the truth hurt and they not used to hearing it. We living in a modern world where everybody been told, you a winner, you a winner, you get this, you get a house, you get a house, you get a man, you get a man, you get a man. Like the Oprah show, you get a cell phone, you get a gift, you. Everybody's a winner. No, some people are gonna lose. And guess what? Only the strongest survive. It's true. Men have to build their value. A lot of you women, you got a walking ATM between your legs. You born with beauty, guys will flock, jump all on you. Yes, guys want physically fit, submissive, cooperative, agreeable. We don't want to come home to World War III and fight with you and you talking out the side of your neck and you making threats. I got options too. Y'all exercising options and I got options too. What are your options? What, to have a family over here, a family over here, a family over here? That's your problem. You can't do everything men do. And this is where a lot of you women have to learn. You won't be able to do everything men do. Once you get to, like I said, once you get to a certain age, you should be teaching these young women how to not do what you did. You know what I mean? If you made those decisions to have a gang of children and not have a male supporter. If you had 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, with no male supporter, no husband, it's a lot of single women in the United States of America who walking around and ain't never been married and ain't gonna never get married, but have 1 or 2 children, if not more. All right. So then they have to breastfeed off the government tits. Rather that mean, okay, I got to go to a master and get him to put my baby daddy on child support, or I got to go to master and get Section 8 voucher or some food stamps because I ain't gonna be able to do it by myself. Well, when they pull the plug and they can no longer give you food stamps and give you doggone vouchers, what are you going to do? A lot of you going to step your game up and like, you're going to step your game up. But that's sad. That's sad. Right now, since the government helping me out, all my family members, my brother, my cousin, my uncles, and woo-de-woo, because women obviously build a circle that way. I'm going to have this guy to be my mechanic. I'm going to have this person to be my love making partner on my little side dude, and then I'm gonna have this guy in the friend zone. I'm gonna have the family member over here where I can borrow money, and then they think they can get through the world alone, and this is how they got it set up. But like I say, guys, this part 1, we're gonna definitely do a part 2 but just wanted to touch on it. And like I say, it was inspired by the late great Kevin Samuels, the Godfather himself, undefeated. And we got to keep it going and have these conversations because it's to better us as a whole, men and women. And like I say, guys, you're not exempt. Y'all gonna get, y'all gonna get hit. And like I say, maybe on the next one, part two. But this is something we have to continue to discuss. And like I say, it won't be the last time we talk about it. Proverbs 21:19 mentioned it's best to live in the desert. Let me see, the desert or the wilderness tend to live with a contentious, angry woman. So I say to many of you females, quit being an angry woman. Step up to the plate. Help resolve this issue. Till next time.